Hello and welcome. My name is Saleh Al-Minji and welcome to episode 14 of Rate My Trades. Now, I'm very excited for this episode. Why am I excited for this episode? Because there are a couple things that we're going to set right in this episode. So, first of all, timing. I know the timing of releases for Rate My Trades, these episodes, it hasn't really been consistent. However, from today onwards, filming will be happening on Fridays. So I'll be filming everything that I'm looking at on the markets on Fridays, and the episodes will be released to you on Monday 7 p.m. So Monday 7 p.m, mark it in your calendars. From now on, Rate My Trades. Not only that, but moving forward now, we've also got quite a lot more detail in the charts. So I've actually gone through and annotated things that I'm telling you about so that you can actually see them on your charts and track the progress more visually. But having said that, why am I still doing all this talking? I actually don't know. Let's get right into it. So, yes, first currency pair. First currency pair that we are looking at is USD MXN. So as we can see here, moving into the day chart now. Yeah, so when we move into the day chart, we can see that last episode, if you can remember how USD MXN looked in the last episode, the screenshot's gonna come up on the screen now. Yes, as you can see, so in the last episode, we were around here at 19.6. And since then, we have now progressed to a rate of around 20.1. What does that mean? That means that on this trade, you can check it yourself, we have attained a total of 5,300 pips. All the proof is here. I told you, buy this last week, and now, I know this, I say this, I do this, yes. So with this one now, looking forward, yeah, so we still haven't reached our take profit of around 20.5, which is around here. So we're just gonna continue waiting for that, Now, currently, if we go into the 30-minute chart, yeah, so right here you can see episode 14, which is this episode, we're around 20.1, which is here. We've just fallen to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud. So right now, I'm not expecting to see that USD MXN will be shooting up straight away, but just keep this on your watch list for now, and as soon as it does cross over to the top side of the Ichimoku cloud, continue buying it. Now let's move on. So, NZDCAD. Now look at this, It's like I'm a genius, like I'm a magician. So, I predicted this to be a sell. I told you guys to sell it. Let's move into the day chart and see how it's looking there. Yeah, okay, so when we zoom in now, just trying to get it so that you can see exactly everything. So yes, episode 13, NZDCAD was at a rate of around 0.8533, and since then it has fallen and it's actually hit our take profit. So at this point we've closed this trade, and yeah, episode 14 I actually inputted these figures yesterday, which is why it is showing higher than it is currently. But smash this trade once again. Now this trade we gained a total of 150 pips, which brings the total pips that we've gained since the last episode to a max of a current figure of 5,450. So as we go through the rest of the trades, we will be collating all the pips that we have managed to attain in the last 11 days, as the last episode was released on the 19th of August and this is currently the 30th. Let us progress. So, moving on, NZD USD. So as you can see now, if you can remember what I told you in last week's episode, NZDCAD and NZDUSD, they do tend to move in the same direction and follow the same patterns. So that's why I was looking to short both of them at the same time. they're both in the same regression trend and everything, so it was all making sense. Now, NZD/USD has also hit the take profit. There's not much I can say on this one. I can come in and show you. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Going on to the 4-hour chart as well. So yeah, we can see that in last week's episode, so episode 13, we were around a rate of 0.64, which that is not showing, and now it is currently around a rate of 0.63. So this is NZD/USD, and we did attain around 100 pips. I can also show you how we measured that. So if we come onto the day chart, this, as you can see here, 19th of August, you can see it yourself. We're just going to come parallel to that and hold down shift, use our measure, and yeah, you can see it yourself, 100 pips. So that was secured there on that trade. So bringing our total to counts of 5,550. We move forward. CAD CHF. Let's go onto the week chart and see the bigger picture. Okay, so now if you can remember how this trade looked in last week's episode, screenshot's gonna come up on the screen now. You don't even need to look at the screenshot, to be honest, now that I have started annotating the markets myself. But yes, as you can see, so last week I told you guys that we were looking at this. So originally, you can remember that I was looking at the CAD CHF as a sell, and we sold it to the bottom of the support line that we had. No, sorry, our bottom line of resistance that we had right here. Then, when it did get to this level here, I told you, okay, so we are at the line of resistance, and what we're expecting to see now is for CAD CHF to continue shooting up to the top side, the line of support in our triangle trend. Now, as you can see, I am a genius, and not only that, but I am psychic, because everything I did say has gone exactly to plan, including this regression trend that I plotted as well. As I placed this trade here on, as you can see here with the arrow, on the 19th of August, it says it right here, and it was, during the period, it did fall out, and it did even fall below, the candlesticks fell below the Ichimoku cloud. However, it was just at the bottom of a regression trend, and I did stick to my guns because I believed in this trade, and it was still above the bottom line of resistance. And it's paid off at this point, and look, it's currently soaring. I'm still expecting it to go and soar to our take profit of 0.748. If we move into the 30-minute chart as well, we can see that it's currently on the top side of the Ichimoku cloud, so right now this trade should be open. And just waiting for it to continue, and if it does fall to the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, we will close it. However, it's open for now. Now let's move on. So EUR and OK. So with this one now, looking into the 30-minute chart, what we can see is, so originally here, at episode 13, it was around 9.99, and I was thinking of this to be a sell because we were seeing a fall to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud, which is indicated by this yellow period here. However then, as you can see, around 23rd of August, we did see a cross to the top side of the Ichimoku cloud. So at that point, I closed that trade. Now that is how you minimize your losses, people. As soon as you see a cross to the top side of the Ichimoku cloud, if you're in a sell, close it. If you see a cross to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud whilst you are in a buy, close it. And especially on the smaller time frames like 30-minute charts and 15-minute charts, this is how you minimize your losses, people. And this is how I'm able to be right even when I'm wrong. But yeah, so close this trade, and then after that, I did see a cross to the upside of this price level in which I had inputted from years ago, because if we come onto the week chart now, you'll be able to see that this top price level that I'm talking about does date back to all the way the 8th of December 2008. So this is why it's also very important to make sure you have all your price levels in at all times. So yeah, back into the 30-minute chart now, we can see that it did cross to the top side of the Ichimoku cloud, and we bought it, and since then So this is EUR NOK in which we're talking about. I think I also forgot to mention, so we gained 40 pips from CAD CHF, and NZD USD also gained us 100 pips. However, this one, EUR NOK, did manage to gain us, in fact, 600 pips. So that does bring our total pips gained over the last 11 days since episode 13 to 6,190 pips. Now, as you can see here as well on EUR NOK, on the 30-minute chart, the candlesticks have just fallen to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud. Now, what does that mean? That means that we are currently not in this trade, and once again, just waiting to see if it does continue, then we will buy it again. However, because of the new height that we are seeing, unprecedented heights, as you can see, it did touch this level once in 2008, as I showed you before. However, hasn't really been this high before. So if anything, that is why I would be inclined to looking for return back to our line of support. And so I'll be looking to sell this currency pair. Once I start seeing the fall to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud on other charts such as the 2-hour chart and the 4-hour chart, then definitely. However, let's move on. So NZDCHF. So with this trade now, as you can see, episode 13, we were around this level here of 0.63. And since then, so if we just click here and use the measure to show you, we have gained around, okay, well, it's saying 60 pips. So let's just modify this, because when I did write down the amount of pips that we did gain, obviously, so like originally it was around here and it was showing us 80 pips at that point. But let us change that now. But no rush, no pressure, because this is still a current ongoing trade in which we are looking at. Now, as you can remember, I did input these lines. So I saw a triangle trend here, and it seems as if the top line of my triangle trend has remained its role as a line of resistance, and the candlesticks have stayed nicely to the downside of that. With the 60 pips that we have gained on this trade, that brings our current total of pips that we have gained over the last 11 days to 6,250, which is quite large. I know this, I say this, I do this, yes. So, yeah, at this point now we've gone through all the trades in which we were looking at before in last week's episode. However, at this part of the show is a time in which we look at all the trades that we'll be looking at going forward. So let's get into it. So, the first currency pair that we're going to be looking at now is EUR/NZ. Annotate this quite some time ago, which is why it's fallen away from the entry point. In fact, it's not even an entry point, but this is just the point in which I've spotted this trade. So I'm going to leave this and also leave this noted box here, so that when we do come back in future episodes, it's all here for you to see the progress of the trade. Now at this point, although I'm looking at EUR/NZD as a buy, I do not believe that it's currently going towards the top. However, that's why we've also got our stop loss. There we go. Okay, so 30-minute chart now, it has fallen to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud. So do not place this trade right now. However, put it on your watch list, and as soon as the candlesticks come back onto the top side of the Ichimoku cloud on the 30-minute chart, that's when you place your trade. And for this one, as you can see written in this box, we've got a nice TP of 1.78, which is around this level here, which was tested previously around the 17th of September 2018. Now, that's EUR/NZD. EUR/USD now. So, looking at this trade, let's go on to the week chart. Now, EUR/USD, for this currency pair, I'm thinking something different to EUR/NZD. So I do believe they aren't moving in harmony. When we zoom in on the week chart, what we can see is that it looks like it's fallen to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud very nicely on the week chart. And basically, in the long run, what I am expecting is to see a return to this price level here of around 1.059 or 1.06. However, as you can see here in this box in which I've spotted the sell, I haven't put the take profit as 1.06. I've put the take profit as 1.09 because it's better safe than... There we go. Okay, so moving into the 4-hour chart, let's take a closer look. And yeah, this trade is currently quite a good trade. 30-minute chart as well. Let's see what's happening there. And yeah, we are quite nicely on the downside of the Ishimoku cloud, and things seem to be going well for now. However, I am expecting to see a retracement sometime soon. So for this one, just keep watching. Let's move on. GBP AUD. Now, okay, so let's look at the week chart to see the bigger picture. So for this one now, I've spotted a regression trend, and it has been going on for quite some time. We saw a drawdown to the bottom side of the regression trend. However, now we have seen it has come back up. And 4-hour chart now, when we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that we are currently in another triangle trend. So 2-hour chart, let's see what that's saying. And we can see it is looking like it's coming to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud on the 2-hour chart. However, because we're also in a regression trend, in a triangle trend, sorry, at this point, not an open trade. This is not an open trade. This is just a trade to watch. So if you can see that the candlesticks are within the top and bottom parameters of our triangle. So for this trade, all we're currently doing is just waiting to see if it does break through either side. So I've put here, I've spotted it as a buy with a take profit of 1.87. Now I've said that because of this regression trend. However, it is potential that this also might be a sell. Now why might this be a sell? This might be a sell if it does break to the downside of our triangle trend, and if it is, then once again, even if I am wrong, I am right, because what do? We roll with the punches, and as the markets change, we go with it. So that's just another trade, another currency pair to watch for now. Now GBP NZD as well. So GBP NZD and GBP AUD. So right now I'm currently both looking at them as a potential buy. Now when we zoom in on the week chart, what we can see is that, so I put in this box here with a potential take profit of 1.957. Now I suspect, so as you can see here as well, in the 30-minute chart, we are also in a triangle trend. So GBP NZD and GBP AUD seem to be following the same trend. So basically, if we do get to a cross of the downside of this triangle trend, then we're going to scratch the complete idea of having this as a buy and start looking to sell it. But for now, as I said, do not enter this trade as of yet, just wait. So yes, USD CAD. So what we can see with this one now is, on the week chart, we can see that there was a drawdown to the downside of the regression trend that we've got nicely plotted in here. Now what I'm expecting to see is, as you can see here, we're looking for a take profit, potential take profit of 1.35, which is at this level here, and I've put that because it was previously tested around the 20th of May 2019. So coming into the 4-hour chart of this as well, what we can see is, you can see why we're not in this trade yet, because it's not on either side of the Ichimoku cloud. It's not currently something that we are looking to touch. The 2-hour chart, it is on the top side of the Ichimoku cloud. However, we're more looking for, because as you can see here as well, from before, I've got a price level plotted in around 1.32. So ideally what we're going to be looking for is a crossover to the top side of this point. In fact, I believe it would be quite safe to put this here instead. Yes, so if we do see across the top side of 1.32, then if we do see across to the top side of around 1.332, then we will be looking at buying this. However, for now, just wait and watch. Next trade, USD JPY. Now as you can see here with this one, I've spotted it as a buy with a potential profit of 108.4, which is this level here. Now if we come into the day chart, you'll be able to understand a bit more why I have put this level. So although we do have price levels below 108.4, I do believe that 108.4 is quite a strong price level in which has been tested in the past, as you can see when we go through the charts and look at what has previously happened. So you see it was tested around here and so on and so forth. So yeah, so with this one, once again, moving into the 30-minute chart as well, what can we see? We can see that it is currently falling to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud. Now, just because it's falling to the downside of the Ichimoku cloud doesn't mean this isn't a very good potential trade. So once again, this isn't a trade that you should place now. However, it's one to definitely put on your watch list. And as soon as you see across to the top side of the Ichimoku cloud on the 30-minute chart again, that is when we will be looking to place this trade. So please keep your eyes out and be alert. Now, last but not least, definitely CHF-JPY. Yeah, so for this trade now, I spotted it just before I started recording, and for now I am rather impressed. I am rather impressed in what I see. So if we zoom out on the week chart, what you can see is that, yeah, so fall down to the bottom side of the Ichimoku cloud, and we've previously seen it tested at around 104. 104 is our take profit, as you can see from the box over here. Spotted it as a sell, episode 14. 104, if we move back as well, we can see it was tested around here, it was tested around here. But yeah, we can really use it as a good price level to set our take profit. Moving to the 30-minute chart now, and what do you know? What do you know? So we've just seen a crossover to the bottom side of the Ichimoku cloud. Now, out of all the trades that we are currently looking at for the future, so future trades, this is the only one that I would recommend that you place now and get into it. Why is that? Because the candlesticks are currently on the downside of the Ichimoku cloud. Let's go onto the 4-hour chart and see what that's saying as well. We are currently also on the downside on the 4-hour chart as well. So this trade is looking quite nice, and it is a very long-term trade indeed. Indeed, definitely is a very long-term trade. However, if you manage to catch it now, you will be in for a good treat. You are very much welcome for all this help. Now, at this point, just going to look at the Rate My Trades account. So, the Rate My Trades account, we're currently up to £350. So yeah, there's not much else I can say on that. It is what it is. The trades have been going very well. You're welcome. If you would like to learn the strategy in which I use to decipher and predict these trades, you're welcome to go over to the Icon Traders website and sign up to the Icon Traders trading course. We've also got other materials as well, such as a checklist. Yeah, so we've also devised a checklist which I have here, and it tells you exactly what to do. So it basically guides you through your technical analysis. So when you look at the charts, it tells you to look at the week chart, day chart, 4-hour chart, blah blah blah. So with this checklist now, it's basically like having me in your ear whilst you're doing your technical analysis. How could you go wrong with that? How? My voice might be a bit annoying, but you'd be making money. So at this point now, I don't really know why I'm still talking. Go be great.